the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an intermittent heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I'm going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Cosette Otten, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, old flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, he who made time, the seat of the universe. It's known among ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribe as Olodumare, Obatala, and many, many other Orisha gods. I bear witness that all of those names refer to the same, one, Almighty God, and it's to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, those children of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are that lost 13 tribe born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you all in the ancient but yet holy words of peace in the languages of our fathers, of Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Abaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Welcome, welcome to the Temple of Mercy Association, also known as the Temple, the Toma Nation. I am Brother Minister Rahim Kased Aten, founder of this great movement, along with our co-founder, Minister Omari Jahi Aten, and the First Lady of this movement, Sister Makita Aisha Aten. Welcome again to the Toma Nation, aka Temple of Mercy Association. Today, if you've been following us and been with us, or if you're just here for the first time, we have been touching on what we call our prescribed readings. We have a reading or a particular subject matter that we discuss every month of the year. Every month. And this month, last month, we were in Message to the Black Man, and Message to the Black Man is a book that was written by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He also is the founder, or shall I say co-founder, of the Nation of Islam. And today, the main spokesperson for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, just to bring you up to date, this month is the month that we have what we call in Toma our Founders Day, that recognizes the founder of the movement, myself. And so within this month, I will be bringing to you today the historic origin of the Temple of Mercy Association. And next Sunday, I'll be bringing you the origin of another organization that I happen to be the chairperson of, the United Black American Progress Association. Today is Toma's history. Toma just did not drop out of the sky or just come by osmosis or something, but it has a history. As a matter of fact, a 35-year history as Temple of Mercy Association. But under the TOMA acronym, we have about a 40-year history. So I'm not going to take up too much time. This is the month for TOMA so that you all can learn more about us. If you want to be a part of us based on this day and time and what's going on in the world. And I myself, along with other members of TOMA and my lodge, went to the Million Man March in 1995, and we heard the minister say that no man is an island unto himself, that all of us should be a part of some movement or organization that is led under a spiritual guidance, understanding who God is and what our mission is to our people. And so, believe it or not, I say that all the time because a lot of people just think that they just going to make it by themselves, but they're going to go to somebody for some help before Trump is out of office. And so we're just saying that we are one among many that are open to receive you into our fold. Now I'm going to read to you, and I might stop at certain points, the history of TOMA. Now, TOMA was originally a musical production company called the Temple of Music Association. It was founded in 1980 by myself, Minister Raheem, AKA Daryl Wilson, AKA Sax Preacher. I'm a musician. And so as a musician, instead of just playing the saxophone, the Creator inspired me to start a production company, along with a record company, Toma Records. Why? Because I wanted to create a company free from the manipulative conduct normally used by managers, production companies, and record companies. And today there's still, as you've been hearing over and over again, we started teaching our people that was in our production about the business of music from day one. If you didn't want to learn the business of music, you couldn't be in our production. Because just now, within these years, the 21st century, so to speak, you've been hearing Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince, many others, Angie Stone, telling you all of the tricks and all of the diabolical things that was set up to bring them into their record label or company, or either manage them, just to find out that they were being hoodwinked, bamboozled, according to what Malcolm X calls it. And I saw this back then, which is why God inspired me to chart an independent course and start my own label back then, as well as start my own production company to help up and coming artists. You can't just try to be out there helping yourself, but to help up and coming artists. And so we taught them the business of music, taught them how to read contracts, taught them how to book themselves, taught them how to rent events and event space and throw their own shows. We taught them how to host their own shows. We taught them showmanship. We was a little bit better than Motown, because Motown wouldn't teach none of their artists the business of music. They just said, you stick to your music and we'll take care of the business. In our production company, you learn the business. I went to Columbia College and majored in arts, entertainment, media management so that we can know exactly what's going on and how this musical industry operates. My goal when I went to college, when I first came to college, was music education. I wanted to be a music instructor, music teacher. But even at that time, in the band that I was in, we kept meeting shysters, phony managers, and different people that came to us to manage us. And I found out about Columbia College and immediately left the quest for being a music teacher to learn about the business of music. So that was in 1980. 2 years later, I was joined by Tyrone Williams, today Omari Jahi or DJ Tyrone. But at that time in 1982, together we embarked on the mission of producing music business workshops. We provided rehearsal space for artists who wanted to rehearse. We rented venues for our performers. We did showcases and talent shows for musicians and entertainers alike. If they needed an opportunity to present their talent, we did it. But then, because God had a different purpose for me, and as you can see, Toma stood for a lot of things. Toma was Temple of Music Association for Toma Production, Temple of Music Association for Toma Records, and then it became, at one point, Temple of Masons Association, and had Franklin Lodge under that. But in 1987, God had a different idea. You can run from God, but you can't hide. I was diagnosed with a rare incurable lung disease called sarcoidosis. The doctors didn't know, and to this day, they still don't know the cause of that disease or even the cure for that disease. And it affects, brothers and sisters, at least 95% Black people, similar to sickle cell anemia, which only affects Black people. And so they sent me home with a death sentence saying that I had 6 to 18 months to live, because they told me I had came when it was too late. I was in the last stage. I didn't know it. I kept coughing for about a year. I just always had some respiratory situations happening to me, but I thought it was because I was born with asthma. And then it went on and became bronchial asthma. And later on, sarcoidosis. And so I just thought I would get over it, but I stayed sick for about a year, to the point that I couldn't even breathe. If I stood up straight, I couldn't breathe. I had to walk bent over just to breathe. Then I went to the hospital and they took a test. I stayed in for 10 days, maybe 12, and they took test after test after test and came up with sarcoidosis. Then they told me I'd never be able to play the saxophone again. But the Creator proved the doctors wrong. And through God's speaking through my sister, who came to my bedside one day and reminded me that when I was in the foster home, which we were all raised by DCFS, that when I was in the foster home, I read a book called Back to Eden, like the Garden of Eden. And I had read it, but I forgot about it. And she went and bought that book. And I looked through that book and looked for every herb that dealt with lungs and started taking those herbs. I was taking over 100-something capsules every day and drinking nothing but juice and water. Juice and water. Then my diet had to change. I became vegetarian. No more meat. I did all that I could, and then God, miraculously, after a year, healed me. A lot of prayer from my people that knew me. Change of heart, change in diet. And then, because of that, I couldn't run anymore. In 1990, I was inspired by God to change the Temple of Music Association to the Temple of Mercy Association. I didn't have too many musicians who wanted to follow with me into that new endeavor. We asked some of the band members. A couple came, but they didn't stay. I would say their names, but they may not want me to, so I'll leave it out. And because I still know them today, and we cool. But I do know one that did come and stayed. He was with me when we started. Well, not when we started, but 2 years after I started Toma. And then he's been with me ever since. Through Toma for over 30 years. And later on, in 1991, see, we started in 1990. We incorporated in 1991. And later on, we were joined by a young man that came from Yahweh Ben Yahweh's camp. I forgot the name of his movement. I think it was called the Kingdom of God or something like that. And he came and joined up with us. Brother Minister Ezekiel Wells, later on Ezekiel Kepera. And he was appointed as our first youth minister in Toma. Later, he was promoted to be Toma's representative, or spokesperson, not representative. I was always the representative. He was Toma's spokesperson. And since 1990, the Temple of Mercy Association, an all-inclusive, Black conscious righteous movement that focuses on the spiritual, the social, and economic solutions to the challenges that Black people face in the urban cities of North America. Under the leadership of myself, we founded the ministries, along with Minister Omari, we founded the ministries of the original Men in Black and the Women of Light. At that time, a uniformed paramilitary group. Today, we are a uniformed hospitality patrol group of Black men and women. This street ministry has assisted with the diversion of hundreds of Black youth and young adults, diverting them away from the criminal justice system. Toma's OMIB and WOL ministry have advised over dozens of Black families. Toma has provided long and short-term food, clothing, and shelter for many homeless people in the Toma facilities and in homes of the OMIB and WOL members. You know, we had our ups and downs, and we're not where we was because of those ups and downs, but we held on to our teachings that God gave me. We held on to our bylaws and constitution. We held on to our prescribed readings as we graduated from one temple on 77th and Halsted to 3 temples, back down to 1. And then we began to, later on, as things, you know, kind of got a little bit more difficult, we began to network with other organizations, working together with people such as Pastor Victoria Brady of ABJ and Brother Clyde Banks, President Clyde Banks of a division of the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association, founded by the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He is the president of Division 429 here in Chicago. And just to name a few, but we work with many other people. And our production has produced many people that you might know of that are out here today. We'll be letting you know more about it a little bit later. And so our mission is to combat, to expose, and eradicate the self-genocide of Black youth and young adults in America and throughout the world. You heard at the beginning of this particular program or broadcast that we had what you call the 13 points of what we believe and know. It is what we truly believe and know. We say believe because when you come into our movement, you may not understand it, but we ask you to believe until understanding comes. And once you understand it better by studying what we teach, you come to know that what we're teaching and what we stand for is the truth. And so, being who we are, and you heard the lady Ebony, our announcer, say Black Power. And a lot of people are afraid to use that terminology. But we are all-inclusive. Why do we say all-inclusive? Because first, number one, we are a race-first movement, just like every other race on the planet is race-first. A race-first movement. And so that's why we are a Black conscious movement, right? Not just conscious, not just woke, but Black conscious. We understand who we are, whose we are, where we came from, and where we are going. And we teach that on a daily basis. And so we know that the term Black Power scares our enemies, enemies of our rise. And that term was coined by Huey Newton, founder of the Black Panther Party. And it is to define, to develop, and then to defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. And we say Black people because we know that we being this lost 13 tribe born here in North America, knowing that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage, but yet every one of us that was born here, that are descendants of slaves, have been looking for an identity. Some resonate with Africa and become Pan-Africanists. Some resonate with some particular religion or some particular other cultural group, also defining us by many different names. African Americans, Negroes, many other names, Moors, Muslims, Hebrews, Israelites, many other names that we grab hold to so that we can become, and I'll just leave it right there, right like this, so that we can become. Because that's the problem. Not knowing who you are, you wouldn't know what you're becoming. So everybody's out looking for themselves. Everybody's looking for themselves and can't find who we are. So what we decided was that we will remain Black until someone, 90% of us over here in America, United States of America, decide that one of these names gonna be ours. Either Moorish, or we gonna be Afro-descendant, or we gonna be African American, or we gonna be African descendants of slaves. Whatever name that 90% of us choose, then we'll not just say Black, but Black is our safe zone. And we know that Black is universal. We know that Black is the original color.
which is not really a color. It's the original essence from which all things come from. All things. Carbon atoms are black. Everything that burns up on this planet, humans, anything, it turns black. That black soot that you see is carbon. The coal that you see, that they get out of the ground, that came from fossils and things that over millions of years just broke down into that dark substance, because everything comes back to black. Even a white person, the reason they had their funerals so quick is because white people, after about a week or two, will be looking as dark as one of you and I when they have their funeral, because everything turns back to black, right? It's the basic foundation and element from which all things originate from. Everything originates from a black existence. I don't care how it's born. Fish eggs underwater. Whatever it is, another egg, animals, birds, the womb of our mothers, triple darkness. It's the basic key element to which all things must return. Black is the beginning. Black is the end. Black is Alpha and Omega. Black is the deepest depths of the ocean and the sea and the lake. The backdrop of the universe and the galaxy is black. That substance in space, that dark matter in space, is black. And so, because we know, as taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that we came with the earth. When the earth was created, we were there or placed there at that time. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says 66 trillion years ago. Not millions, trillion years ago. And we were there. And we were there. And our teachings in Toma includes the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as well as the teaching of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, as well as the teachings economically of S.B. Fuller. Let me show you how widespread we are. These are some of our prescribed readings. And what month? We have Gandhi, the man. Why? Because he taught nonviolence, and Marcus Garvey learned from him. The Stolen Legacy, showing how not blacks, but white people stole our history, stole masonry, stole mostly everything that we had. There's another book called The Husia, which was written by Maulana Karanga, that deals with ancient Kemet. Again, our history that we teach in February, while everyone else talking about our achievements while we've been here. Well, we teach on our achievements before we got here, the civilizations that we had built. See? And why do we teach Gandhi? Not only because he is the founder, basically, of that concept of nonviolence, protesting and all, but because of his economic strategy that he used to run the British out of his country and get his people to do for self, and not have those people sucking the life out of their economic system where they lived in India. A lot of people say he didn't like black people because he went to South Africa. He went to South Africa to see the Indian people and how they lived. Then he came back to his country. He was sent to his people, not to us. We are the only people who don't recognize the ones that were sent to us. God sent people among you that look like you, that come from you. Y'all need to start looking into that. Now, I want you all to understand something about this term black real quick, because what you're hearing is some of our teachings. That was the first three books was January, February, and then March, our prescribed reading was Nile Valley Civilization by Anthony Broad. Then in March and April, God, the Black Man, and the Truth by Nasi Ben Ami. That's the Hebrews and their teachings. See. Then we also have the Holy Bible there. Because most of our brothers and sisters and our parents consider themselves to be Christian, and that book has been around for years. And so we use that book that we might be able to relate to our people that are Christians, that we might be able to relate to our people that are Hebrews, that are Muslims. See, we have S.B. Fuller dealing with economics, Powernomics by Claude Anderson, Philosophies and Opinion of Marcus Garvey, all dealing with Black economics, things we need to understand and learn that we might get off the economic bottom and stop begging with our hat in our hand for somebody to give us something that we should learn and know how to get for ourselves. Then we have Message to the Black Man by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then How Blacks Can Get Off the Economic Bottom by Dr. Webb Evans, and the other holy book is the Holy Quran. I'm letting you know who we are and what we do. So when you hear me mention some of these leaders, doesn't mean we are members of their organization. We are standing on being all inclusive, whatever your religion is. And there are some prescribed readings that are not on here that I've taught the members, because I've studied more than just that. I studied the Seventh-day Adventists. I studied the Jehovah's Witness. I studied with them. I have their volumes of books, not those little pamphlets the Jehovah's Witness give you, but books. I'll show them to you one day. All right. I have a whole case of books by the Seventh-day Adventists. These things were given to me. Moorish Science Temple literature, Nation of Islam literature, Sunni and Shiite Muslim literature. Study so many things. Why? Because our people are locked into all of these different things. And if the mission of Toma is to reach our people, we have to be locked and loaded with that information if we meet our people. And we got to meet them where they are before we decide that we're going to, or they decide to let us take them where we are. And when you have this oneness of God, then you can relate to more of our people to bring them back to the one God and the one God understanding. That's why our opening is based on the one God. And all of those names referring to the same one. Then you'll hear certain times, depending on what level we are and how we feel, we'll say in the essence of the eternal divine spirit, where we don't mention God at all. We take it to an esoteric level. And we need all of this. We need a holistic view of life. We need a holistic view of this higher power that you call God. We need a holistic view, as above, so below, of all these things that God has at our disposal, that we might become the gods that we were supposed to be. I know it's hard for you to understand what I'm saying right now, but I'm speaking to you on who we are. And I said, understand this. If we continue using the term Black, then I'm saying this is what we should do, no matter what. Use it as a color or as an ethnicity. All right? All right? Let me go back. I said it wrong. If we continue using the term Black, not as a color, not as an ethnicity, but as a title. Understand what I'm saying? By which we as a people should be addressed. So no matter what we want to call ourselves, Black should be our title. Black Christians, Black Hebrews, Black Muslims, Black Americans, Black Moors, Black African Americans, on and on. Why? Because it would link us to all Black people in the world, and this would take us out of the minority status to the majority status. As one, we would be the majority on this planet. And all of the benefits that should be given to us is always taken away from us, because there's always a white or another ethnic group that's a part of that somewhere. And when this government, who's race first, white first, is going to give whatever amenities that is going to get their people first. And they can find a white, whichever one, they're going to give them those benefits or resources. In other words, you got white Christians, so they're taking away from the black ones. You got white Hebrews or Jews over in Israel who getting all of whatever it is from America. They won't give it to the black Israelites or the black Hebrews. Then you got white Muslims, the Arabs, and many others. Any resources that's going to go to the white ones, not to the black ones. Until you put black on it, nobody else can wear that but black people. Black Americans, black Moors. It's a place called Morocco. Predominantly white people running it. And they're Moroccans. See, what's this guy's name that got all these vehicles? Richest man in the world. I forgot his name, it'll come to me. But he's an African American. Yes, a white man. Richest man in the world, white, an African American. His parents were from abroad, but they came to South Africa and she got pregnant and he was born in South Africa. He's an African American. There was a vice president whose wife was an African American and she was white. So who's gonna get all the resources as an African American? They're gonna find all the white ones. To know you getting it, you better be a black one. No matter what, it will link us again to all blacks in the world, and we would be the majority, which we are anyway. But it has to be spoken. Spoken word is very important. Very important. Maybe I'll be able to get to that, but I'll wait. No, I'm going to get to it now. Hold on. Because if you don't continue to speak stuff into existence, it will die. If you don't keep people's names out in the public, on social media and everywhere, it will die. The reason why people know James, John, Matthew, Mark, Zechariah, all that, because people have been speaking their names for centuries. So you have to keep them alive. You do, black people. We can't depend on white people to keep our people's names in their mouths. We got to do it. All right? Let me read this here. You have to be very careful of what you say as a son of God. You also have to be careful of what you agree to, especially if you don't clearly understand or you don't control the power that comes from spoken word. Once pure spoken words of truth are set in motion, all those that are under the sound of those words are subject to that judgment, even the speaker himself. All right? That's what I needed you to know. It was something that I wrote in 1987. Showing you we've been around for a while. Now I'm going to leave you with this, but I'm going to take a few more minutes. You heard me mention also the OMIB, the original Men in Black. And you heard me say we were a paramilitary group. Nothing really wrong with it, but they just related to all the different negative things that go on in the world. And so we removed ourselves from that. But it was only relating to or being characteristic of a force formed on a military pattern. In other words, we had military protocol, and we still use military protocol, and we do drill, and we do martial arts, and we work hard to stay physically fit so that we can do the work that we need to be doing. Today we say hospitality patrol. And it says it's the quality of receiving and treating strangers, neighbors, and friends in a warm, generous way. In many cultures, hospitality plays a significant role in social interactions, as individuals are often judged by their ability to extend kindness and generosity toward others. That's one of the reasons we use the term hospitality. We are not coming to our brothers and sisters to try to act like we policing them. No, we're there to help them. We serve as a deterrent. That means to deflect something that might have been getting ready to happen or occur. It says, these are some of the aspects. A visible security presence that discourages criminal activity, seeing us in these suits and whatnot. Discourages thievery, stealing, carjacking, and other unwanted behaviors. We deal with surveillance involving walking or driving through an area to spot suspicious activity. Patrols can be conducted by foot, by vehicle, or other methods like bike patrols, depending on the size and the layout of the area that we'll be patrolling. And it's many more, many things. Now, this is not a new group. I just need you to understand this. You heard me mention Franklin Lodge, me being a Mason. I joined the Masonic organization in I believe it was 86 or 87. No, it was earlier than that. It was 1984. And when I joined the Masonic group, I saw, and believe me, this was before I knew about the Nation of Islam, because until I became the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association, I didn't know that much about the Nation of Islam at all. So when I joined the Masonic group, we had a meeting. It was a joint meeting, the sisters and the brothers. And in that joint meeting, I looked around and I saw something. I seen the brothers on one side and the sisters on the other side. I said, wow, now that's deep. I didn't know that. I also read that Abu Elijah Muhammad made it to the 3rd degree of Masonry, and he had to have seen what we saw or what I saw. And so when we started Toma, we had the brothers on one side and the sisters on the other. People say we were mimicking the Nation of Islam, but we weren't, because I didn't even know of that until I came into the ministry. All right. And Toma came up with the OMIB because we had constantly asked the Lodge brothers to go out with us as Masons, because we thought that first shock of them seeing Masons walking the neighborhood and doing hospitality and just patrolling and looking around and just, doing the same thing that the OMIB do now. But I kept being called to the carpet because they kept saying you shouldn't wear Masonic regalia out there. So I said, okay, cool. And God gave me the idea of saying, we'll have brothers, they don't have to be Masons to join the OMIB, but we'll wear black suits. And that's when I learned about the Deacons for Defense, some church deacons who put on black suits and patrolled their community against the Ku Klux Klan. And then I noticed that the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey had black suits patrolling their communities. Then later on, I find out that the Nation of Islam started with just black suits and bow ties when they started the Nation of Islam. Now they wear different color suits. So I say, well, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just improve on it the best you can. We're still improving, but we walk out here now. It doesn't matter if you're a Mason or not. You can be a part of the OMIB. And we've done many things. And I'm going to read this and then I'm going to start closing out. All right. It started with a group of black brothers from the Temple of Mercy Association and Franklin Lodge number 25. We grew up on the streets of Chicago. While growing up on those streets, many of us were involved in the negative aspects of life. But through divine inspiration from God, we, these young men, have been resurrected from their mental graves and conquered their adversities under my leadership, under the presence of God. Since 1991, the original Men in Black was seen many times riding the L's. Remember, this is in the 90s. You're seeing people riding the L's now? We were doing it in these black suits, going from car to car, talking to our people, letting them know what was going down. And at that time, gun violence was at an all-time high. As a matter of fact, in this century here, we haven't met that level of violence since the 90s. At the end of the year, it was like 1,000 people murdered, killed in the black community in Chicago. Then the following year, 92, 93, 94, 95, it was always at least 900 people killed in Chicago through gun violence. 900, 800, back to 1,000 every year. And that was the call that God had on us to address it. And we went out addressing it. But also, we looked at some of the effects of alcohol and drugs on our people. And we started getting stores closed down, gas stations closed down, from secretly delivering guns and drugs to our people, having our brothers and sisters on drugs and selling loose squares and things like that. Oh, we were there. And so not only did we ride the L's, all right, the red line, the blue line, all those colors, we used to call them the Dan Ryan Hill. On June 7, 1995, the original Men in Black were featured in the Chicago Defender, in the Tribune, and in the Sun-Times for confronting the Everfresh Juice Company for selling juice and wine-shaped bottles for kids. Understanding those negative images, the media were already projecting of our youth, and they were, with the movies that they had out, like they still do today. With some of the lyrics, hip-hop was coming into being. They started pushing out those rappers who were talking positive and bringing in the most negative speaking rappers and telling them that the more negative you are, the more we'll promote your record. All right? All because they were trying to keep us down. All right? And so we visited the Everfresh Juice Company headquarters and stores throughout the black community to make sure no more bottles were sold. In another case, the Men in Black were pictured in the September 14th, 1998 issue of the Time magazine for providing security for the 7- and 8-year-old boys who were being falsely charged with the rape and murder of 11-year-old Ryan Harris. I can tell you that whole story one day. The Men in Black kept the young boys off camera, out of the media's sight. There are no pictures of the young men to be shown by the media to this day. The OMIB supported Reverend Paul Jakes in his campaign against police brutality in 2 high-profile cases, the Jeremiah Mearday case, September 1997, and the LaTanya Haggerty case, June 1999. So we've been doing it for a while, y'all. Uniform foot patrol groups. Yes, we've been doing it. We didn't start yesterday. All right? And we have goals. So now I'm going to close out because November 20th happens to be my Earth date. I was born in 1957, November 20th. We call it Founders Day because I don't believe that God founded Toma in 1990. I believe Toma was placed in my heart and in my mind from the day I was born. I had to catch up with myself and meet that goal and meet that purpose that God brought me here for. I didn't know it, but I had signs all the way up until God struck me down with sarcoidosis, that this was what I was supposed to do. I had heard of Elijah Muhammad while I was in high school. I graduated Supposed graduated in 75. That's when he made his transition. I heard about it, still didn't know about them. So I'm saying that God put that in me from birth. And so when I was born in 1957, so was Toma. So was the Temple of Mercy. God said, now that I had mercy on you and brought you out of that, your job is to have mercy on others. Then at another time, a spirit, or I think it was, I knew it was the Spirit of God, but it was a voice. While I was asleep, I had a dream. And God give to you according to your understanding. So it was a white robe that came down in the front room and the world was coming to an end. And he said with this loud voice, and this was before sarcoidosis, before I had sarcoidosis, said that I chose you to tell the world to find peace. But in order to find that peace, they had to find peace within themselves first, and then they would be able to find peace with others. So peace, yes, we're looking for peace. First with yourself, peace of mind. Then others. We call it calmness of spirit. And then I asked that robe, that bright robe, why me? Why me? And he said, because you, and then his voice started fading off, and I never heard what it was. That was a sign back then. And I was about maybe 12 years old, 11. And many other signs. When I was in the hospital, I had signs showing me that this was my mission. This is what God wanted me to do. Maybe I'll get a chance to tell you some of them. Many of them were miracles. My wife was the only witness that was in our circle who could say, man, that really did happen. I would look at her and she would shake her head and say, yes, it happened. I saw it. And so reluctantly, yes, reluctantly, most leaders who do this type of work don't just volunteer. Reluctantly, after he put me on my feet, all right, I said, okay, I will submit. And so I started bringing my Bible into the club, but that ain't what he wanted me to do. Trying to make an excuse that I'm saving them. No, that wasn't it. Today we have the OMIB, we have the Temple of Mercy Association, we have Franklin Lodge number 25. We also have Sisters of Joanne, I believe it's 212, something like that. The Eastern Star Chapter. And then there's one organization that one of my mentors, he passed and turned it over to me, the United Black American Progress Association. And a musician. God still let me keep my music, gave me my horn back, and I've been playing ever since, known professionally as the sax preacher. Some say the legendary sax preacher. They say I play the sax as if I'm preaching a sermon. So I'm here to tell you that we teach health, wealth, knowledge of self. Go back and listen to other tapes. We have them. Go back and listen to other videos. I mean, I'm still speaking in the past. Just go to Toma Nation and it'll pop up. You can even put Temple of Mercy Association and videos will pop up all the way as far back as 2000. We have CDs, but we got to get them transferred. But that's way back in 1997, 98, 99. We got cassettes, 1990, 91. We've been around. We're not Johnny come latelys. We didn't just pop up on the scene, on the set. We've been here. We don't chase after the cameras. We don't chase after grants. But if you got a grant, you can surely subcontract us and hire us and pay us to do some of the things that we do. You want a sound system? We got it. You want security in your venue? You got it. We here. You want us to walk the streets and be a part of your organization or program? We'll do that. We even have a watch patrol that Pastor Victoria Brady of ABJ had me to create for her, called ABJ's Watch Patrol. So we even have 2 patrol groups. We have to work together. And what's coming, and all these different people, the nation and others, having these men-only meetings to try to get men to come back to being men again, to fight against this demasculation of the black male, you know, all of us gotta wake up eventually. And nobody's gonna do for us what God has put in us to do for ourselves. And if we don't want to unite, I'm just letting you know, everything we are seeing coming to a theater near you. We've seen a lot. Toma, I have. I work with the Nation of Islam. I work with the Moors. I work with all of our brothers and sisters. Race first, all inclusive, black conscious, righteous movement, not religion, movement. But we know that we are from God and we are of God. And we know that Jesus said, ye are gods, all of you, but children of the Most High God. And our goal is to help us to evolve from human being to a supreme being, a God that we were meant to be. Thank you for listening. I leave you in peace. Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Abarigani, Alafia, and Ashe. Peace, peace.
Joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join. Please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash $TOMA. Listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
This is the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part